Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Curtis Ricketts here for a very short Halloween, no frills, no effects, Halloween here in France. Do you like little Fred the Spider? Ooh, ooh. Sorry about that. This is our budget for this year's Halloween, okay? Is Fred the Spider. Or maybe we should call him Pascal the Spider. So I can just see a load of videos coming from Pascal the Spider. Where did you see him? Have you seen him anywhere? Okay. So he's kind of moving towards the T right now. He loves it. So that's just keeping him happy right now. But we was gonna go to the graveyard in the local village here and do like a little chat, but we have to respect the old people and they probably wouldn't know what we were doing anyway. And we have to respect the village. Otherwise, we would have gone on location for you. Okay? We really do apologize for the low budget. Okay? Now, the difference between Halloween here and in the US, obviously in the US, it's so much commercialized, people knocking on doors and things, doing the trick or treat thing. That's always been the case, back in the day. But in France, in the past 20 years, it's becoming more popular each year. And it's being discussed more in the media, like on magazine programs and things. What is the best Halloween costume? What should we leave out, to give to trick-or-treaters, things like that. So that's obviously an American influence in the Western world. Obviously, the UK is probably the most Americanized country in Europe speaking wise. So there's always been trick-or-treating there in the past 20 years or so. I mean, some of it can get a little bit out of hand, Maybe back in the US as well. It depends what neighborhood you live in, If you live in New York, if you live in the build-up area, it's going to be a more organized trick-or-treat. Someone was telling me in some parts of the US, they can't do trick-or-treating until after 7 p.m. or something. And then they have to be inside. So you may not know this, but if you put a pumpkin outside your house, that means it's okay for people to trick or treat and knock on your door. So if you don't put a pumpkin outside, hopefully people won't knock at your door. And that's why you see all these pumpkins out on the front doorstep and things like that. So that's what's that about. So I don't know what it's like in Australia or New Zealand, but whether Halloween is a big thing there. But in France, it's becoming more popular. In the rural areas, no. You're not going to see hordes of people in big groups running around, going from door to door with big buckets, collecting candy, from each stop, that doesn't happen here. It's more organized in France. The small children are out earlier, just after school, and it winds down quite early. It was winding down like about maybe 5 or 6 o'clock p.m. this afternoon, from what I saw. And they're being supervised by adults. They had some costumes on, and that's about it. They might have a Halloween party in the evening, but that's about it. There's no big show. There's Halloween items you can see in the supermarkets, like a few festive Halloween chocolates and things like that. I did see them. I apologize, I didn't take a picture or anything. I should have done. It was just such on a small scale. You wouldn't hardly notice it. Back home in the US, you got the big displays everywhere in the supermarkets. Those things that pop up and jump up and scare people, and the ghost costumes and the skeletons. People leave them on their front yards. Here, no, nothing. So all we could rustle up, okay, was he's changed nationality. Did you remember? Okay, Pascal, the spider. This is the best we could do. And I did find a mask or two and a wig, and that's about it, and some plastic pumpkins. But I prefer the spider. This was the best deal. This was about $5. So I'm not complaining. Are you, Pascal? No. So I might take him out on location. I don't know yet. It might scare some of the ladies, but this will probably get me more views than anything else. You know what I mean? Pascal the Spider made the channel. I don't believe it, but it's nice anyway. He only speaks French anyway, so because he was brought here in France, obviously, it's nice and cuddly. He's moving towards the tea again. He's not buying it. No, this is a coffee drinking spider right now. I'm sorry if you got an arachnophobia and I scared the bejesus out of you. But this could help you get over your fear. I'm gonna give him a little tick on the chin. Oh my god, he just loves that. Oh my god, can you hear that? Oh man. Yeah, that's really calming him. Pascal loves it. Okay? But on the serious note, you haven't got to worry about locking all your doors down and battling down the hatches because a nasty group of kids are gonna bang on your door. It's like 11:15 at night here now, and we've had no one knock on the Jeep. We saw people out in costumes, but no one's come to us. Maybe they don't like us, but we've got a big open courtyard here in the Jeep, and anyone can walk up to the door here, unopposed, but no knocks, and we haven't put anything out anyway. We're kind of meanies this year, I'm sorry to say, because we're going to keep all those lovely French biscuits to ourselves. Okay? Obviously, Disney has had an influence, Harry Potter as well. Don't forget, all these modern cultural things are having an influence, all the kids reading the Harry Potter books, Frozen from Disney, scary movies. I think there's a few French movies on to do with Halloween later on, but nothing out of the ordinary. It's just a normal viewing evening. Okay. So we respected the community this year. We didn't go to the graveyard. We were going to get the flashlights out and put a few little candles around the place, like a little pumpkin, but probably not the dumbest thing to do, because people have relatives there and they probably wouldn't have realized, but we're doing it for a YouTube video. But best to stay inside where it's warm and snuggle up with some tea. But we haven't got any pumpkin soup or pumpkin pie either this year. This is probably the worst driest Halloweens I've ever experienced. But we're happy. Pascal's happy. We're in France. You can see he's jumping for joy there. Look at that. Look at that excitement there. Oh my God. Because all good spiders come in the warm. But we're not complaining. We're not complaining. Tomorrow is All Saints' Day, the 1st of November. So I think that's to do with people's dead relatives, to honor their dead relatives. I'm going to have to look at that a bit more. Okay? And I'll get back to you on that one and give you an update and give you some factual content on that. But most of the shops are closed tomorrow except the supermarkets. But that was our very disappointing, middle of the road Halloween special. Sorry, guys. If we take off, we'll have a bigger budget next year. Okay? Pascal's agreeing with that. He's telling me subscribe, be happy, and look out for the posts. All right? Look out for those post section. Okay? We love you all. See you soon. Subscribe if you can. We love you to do it. And watch out for our future videos. Bye for now.